Hey, it's Dan, welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today because we have a lot of fiscal cliffs. Some have ended, some are about to end. There's a big one that a lot of people are not paying attention to right now that is going to create a huge, huge problem in the real estate market, and we're going to get into it today. Before I get into it, please take a second to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button and share this with all your friends and colleagues, and let's get into it. First things first, I am in Huntington Beach, California, outside the resorts by the one and only Pacific City. Got the Huntington Beach Pier behind me, and it's really an odd day because there's a fire in Northern California right now, and there's been a shift in the wind, so we're getting this orange haze here in Orange County that you can see the sunset there. It's making it really smoky and kind of different. But a big problem that we have right now is at the end of September, the mortgage forbearance ends. And I've done a tremendous amount of research on this, talked to a lot of people at banks, different mortgage companies, and this is going to be a huge problem. First things first, I cannot get the actual number of people that are in forbearance right now. So we heard it was 4 million. We heard that it was fantastic news that people paid it down and got it down to 2 million people. Now there's a news story today that says it's 1.5 million people that are in forbearance. Okay, so that being said, when you think about this, on September 30th, that's when people have to start paying and making their mortgage payment. So that would be October 1st. Now, what you're going to see happen with this is there's a tremendous amount of people that can't afford to pay, first things first. People think that the mortgage companies are just going to defer the payments to the end. That was the big lie that was passed around, wishful thinking, drug addict talk of, hey, it's okay, it's not a problem, don't worry about it. It's crazy because the banks aren't going to do that. Only for the best customers is what I was told today. So that being said, people are going to have to refinance their house. Now, have you had a change of circumstance during this time? Did you lose a job? Is your credit score worse than it was before? Why did you not make your house payment? They want to know this stuff. I just didn't feel like it because I was told I didn't have to. That's not really a good excuse. So you're going to see a lot of people in trouble with this because this fiscal cliff is going to be huge. Think about this. Let's say that 1 million houses got put on the market because the people had to sell quickly. You don't think that's going to affect the market? That's going to affect the market in a huge way. So I was listening to one of the radio financial shows today, and I almost had to pull over and laugh because a woman had called in and said, yeah, we got a little more credit card, bills. We spent some money this year, and they're higher than normal. We added about 30 grand in the last year, and what do you think the best way to pay that off is? Clearly writing a check, but it's like in lunacy, okay? So if you think that the banks are just going to look at the paper you, which is what they care about what we look like on paper before they do any refinance. If you think that they're just going to go, oh, everybody's had a tough time this last year, not a chance at all. So this is going to be absolutely huge, and you're going to see a huge amount of people that are going to be dramatically affected by this immediately, okay? Share your thoughts on this, guys, because this is the time to get yourself right financially. This is just the time to be safe, to play it safe, to clean up things that you're doing wrong financially right now. It's also the time to look at ways to make money in other ways that you haven't thought of in the past. The big air show comes up next week. They got a big Sammy Hagar concert and other bands that are going to be out here next week, and they're building all these stages out here on the sand for next week. It's kind of a cool time right now to be out here, but it looks really, really different than it normally does. So share your thoughts, guys. I really want to know what you guys think about this forbearance cliff. Are you in forbearance? Okay. I've had a lot of people write me lately and say, Dan, I sold my house. We're renting now for the next 18 months. Great. Okay. And again, here's the other thing. If you can afford your house payment, if you can, if it's reasonable and you live there a while, don't sell your house. If this is something that you've had an asset that's appreciated and you're spending a ton and you're really scraping by, unload it, okay? That's what I would do. But the other advice I would give you is something that Scott Walters out of Santa Barbara says, and that is, what will the house that you're sitting in and living in right now, what will that rent for? Okay, you know the answer to that? Check it out, because the one thing that people don't know is what their house will rent for. And if you can refinance, if you're one of the lucky people that can do that right now, refinance it to where it's at the rental payment. So if you had to unload it, you had to go live with somebody else and have somebody else make that payment, go do it. Now there's a newscaster here in, a financial newscaster here out of Los Angeles. That's what her and her husband did this year. And I thought, what a bold move. How great is that? So anyways, share your thoughts, guys. Really want to get into it. There's a lot more to cover right now. I know I get so many messages that people are tired of hearing about the container ships, but guys, look at how close the container ships are to the coast right now. Absolutely amazing. I cannot count how many are out there. There's so many. Now we got a bit of bad news today, and that is that the first-time unemployment claims were announced, and again, Dow Jones and the economists got it wrong. It was 351, they're watching football over there, 351,000 people filed for first-time unemployment claims, which was way up from what they thought. They thought it was going to be about 320,000. And again, these guys get this wrong time in and time out, time again. It's just over and over, it's wrong. But the other thing is consumer sentiment. Consumer sentiment is still at an all-time low. People don't feel good about spending money right now, and they say that they're subdued, is what the economists are saying about spending money. Are you subdued about spending money? How about, I don't want to spend money if I don't have to on anything. But what I get a kick out of is places like this, like I'm in right now. This is the food court here at Pacific City that is basically a ghost town. You've got places closed behind me. The bar's open and they're watching football over there, so you can go over there and get a drink and hang out there. But again, who's buying food? Who's buying shopping? I'll tell you a great story. I had a friend of mine go to an El Torito yesterday, and they walk up and, would you like a margarita? No, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't want a margarita. But how about tableside guacamole? Sure. Showed us tableside guacamole, showed us 3 street tacos. Her bill, $36. $36. She said, I felt so stupid by not looking at the prices. Tableside guacamole is now $14 to have them make guacamole at the table. And the tacos were the rest of it. And she had an iced tea to top it off. So insane, guys. Over $30 to buy lunch. I mean, who's spending money like that? So if you're doing things like that, let me know. Again, I love this place. This place is fantastic. There's a lot going on down here. The weather's great. It's the best time of the year to come down here is right now, because you don't have the tourists. You just have the locals. But guys, look at this. I've got a guy filming a YouTube video by himself, okay? No one's around, okay? So share your thoughts on the economy. Share your thoughts on, consumer sentiment right now. I love these little buzzwords that they use for us, that we're supposed to act like everything's normal right now. But this unemployment claim thing is bad, because it's week after week after week that we're having over 300,000 people file for first-time claims. So share your thoughts, guys. I really want to know what you think. We've heard a lot of stories about prices going up on so many different things. The luxury watch market has gone up substantially over the summer and over the last year. Now, Rolex watches, which are a huge watch brand they're Swiss, and they control 25% of the luxury market, has gone up substantially. But one thing that's very interesting is that Rolex has a supply problem, and there's a real difficulty getting Rolex watches. Now, Rolex watches basically start at about 10 grand and go up from there. They can be hundreds of thousands of dollars for a Rolex watch. Now, there can be diamonds and they can go for over $1 million, but basically the watches sell in that price range. They have seen a substantial increase in the demand for these watches over the last year. And the interesting thing about this is that Rolex, who's such a secretive company, has not really responded to it. They're just, riding the wave of the fact that there are still incredibly wealthy people out there fighting for these products. Now, one thing that's happened is that Yahoo News did a story, which I included in the video description below, and Yahoo News is talking about why this is happening, and it kind of got under the nose of Rolex, and they kind of got upset about it. Well, Market Watch, or Business Insider, wanted to reach Rolex to do an interview with them, and they were continually blocked. So much so that they blocked their email even. Now, the Business Insider article I think is even better because it talks about what Rolex is doing right now to work on their problem of supply issues. But guys, does anybody out there own a Rolex right now? Does it interest you to own an expensive watch like that? Now's the time to sell that expensive watch right now and get rid of it right now. While people have money, while the pawn shops have money, I would do what I could to get rid of every asset like that I can. Now, again, there's super wealthy people out there, people that buy, $1 million cars, but the one thing that I pointed out is we're seeing these luxury auto dealers go out of business here in Orange County, and we're seeing real problems with the marketplace. But again, does it interest you? A friend of mine once said that, Rolex, you've seen so many of them, it's not even special anymore. So share your thoughts on that. I really want to know what people think about this. And is there anything like that you look forward to? I can't wait to go buy an X. Okay? Is there anything like that interests you right now? Because I can't think of anything right now that I can't live without. One thing that's very cool about walking through places like this is they will have product demos. And today, there is a brand new electric car that they have out. It's the Solo Electromechanica car. Check this out, guys. It's a one-person, single-seat car. It sells for $18,500. You can get 100 miles on a charge to this thing, and pretty slick. So, what do you guys think of something like that? Here in California, you can get a $1,500 tax rebate for that, but it's kind of a slick little car. One person, not driving with anybody else, and it's a public company. The stock symbol is Solo, S-O-L-O, and they're starting deliveries on October 4th of 2021. So very cool. Any other colors, guys, or no?
Red, silver, black, and white.
Red, silver, black, and white in the color. So again, guys, what do you guys think? Okay, I think it's a fun little car. I think it's pretty cool. Three-wheeled. So share your thoughts, guys. Really want to know what you guys think of this. There is a trial right now for Elizabeth Holmes in the Theranos debacle. Theranos was a biotech company that I'm super familiar with because of the industry that I'm in right now. And the biotech mess that she created was something that really hurt other investors. The way it did that was they came up with an idea that they could take a drop of blood and you could do multiple blood tests from this drop of blood. And they hoodwinked all these popular people and investors and raised billions of dollars from around the world for this bogus scam. They even tried to get these devices into Walgreens. They had a deal worked out with Walgreens to where they would do these tests, and it was an absolute sham. There was nothing about it that was real. And the problem with this is that when you do drug tests, and knowing people that are very sick and knowing people that have had to deal with a lot of medical issues, you need truth in these tests. And people can die, people can get sick if you have these lies. Now, one thing that's funny is Business Insider did a great article where her text messages to her chief operating officer, who happened to be her boyfriend, were released. And I've had, a lot of people send me the lovey-dovey stuff where they're writing, all these love messages back and forth. But the greatest ones were Elizabeth Holmes was talking about she's the best person of the year, business person of the year. And Sammy Balwani was saying that people are not investing in the company, they're investing in the destiny of the company. I mean, this is insane. These people were scamming people and knew they were scamming people and tried to even sell it upon themselves. So again, remember, if it's too good to be true, it is. When I got my start in the medical med tech space, I was briefed on the Theranos debacle, because that's when it all broke. And now the trial's happening, and this woman is going to pay dearly for this. I do not think that she's going to get out of this easily or lightly in any way, shape, or form. Share your thoughts on this. And again, have you been scammed by an investor before? Have you put money up for something where somebody lied to you and misled you and told you it was going to change the world? Share your thoughts, guys. I really want to know. Very interesting story that came out of the FedEx earnings report this week. And their chief operating officer, Raj Subramanian, came out to talk about how they're having a real difficult time finding humans to take jobs working at FedEx. And it's such a problem that they had to reroute 600,000 packages in the last quarter. 600,000 packages. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if they had to use another carrier, if they had to use different ways of dealing with it, but that's a lot of packages. And they're having problems with all these different areas, like Portland. They're at 65% of their regular staff right now to deal with shipping. They can't get people to do these jobs right now. And their earnings were way off, and they are saying that it's going to be a dismal season with the holidays, and that the bottleneck that's coming is going to be catastrophic. So take a look at the story. It's unbelievable, but FedEx is having problems getting people. Now, this is not low wages, guys. You can sit there and say, I don't want to work at FedEx. But again, you're not a barista, you're not working at Chipotle, wait, I want more onions on that. You're not hearing that, okay? So they're having a real difficult time getting people for these jobs at FedEx, from drivers to people working in the warehouses to dispatch to absolutely everything. It's not just one area, it's absolutely everywhere, and it's across the country. So again, I don't understand how this is going to work if the whole world doesn't want to work. I don't get it. I don't get what we're supposed to do and how this is going to work out. So please share your thoughts. Take a look at the article, but are you shocked about this? Because I'm not, because it's just getting worse. So let me know what you think. Here's something I found to be completely stunning, in that our meat and poultry supply is completely off what it was before the health crisis. We have a cold storage area with the U.S. Department of Agriculture that they keep track of. And beef prices and the quantities are off 7.5%. Prices have skyrocketed. Pork is off 44%, poultry, chicken, 20%. But we've seen these prices on beef double in the last year. You've seen pork go up about 40%. Chicken has gone up about 30% as well. But the thing that stuns me is that there is a cold storage facility that they keep track of for meat. How long do they keep track of this? What's considered cold storage? I mean, how long do you keep it? Okay, so again, read the story. It's out of Bloomberg. I'll share it with you guys, but it's absolutely stunning that our meat supply is so off. And again, they can't contribute it to labor, supply shortages. It's who knows why it's like this, but it's way off from where it was a year and a half ago. There's been a tremendous amount of focus on Evergrande with its real estate division out of China. Well, here's something new that hasn't been discussed yet. Evergrande had an automotive division, and the automotive division, you're going to find out that everything that this company does is a complete scam. Has never produced an automobile. Okay, the stock is trading at 4% of its all-time high right now, but the owner this week issued 336 million shares of stock for family members and friends and people like that with the company. So again, this Evergrande thing, this is the beginning of a huge mess, but you're going to find out that this has just been one big scam after another. And the automotive division, I didn't even know they had an automotive division. Show me the Evergrande car. What's it look like? Because I can't find it. How about that? But they've never produced a car, and they've got this huge stock problem that they're issuing shares to friends and family. Crazy. You're going to see a lot of problems with this. Now, with all the stimulus that's been given out over the last year and a half, the House Ways and Means Committee is looking at ways to tax you, me, and the super rich to oblivion. And one thing that they're working on is altering the 401ks. Now, there's a man that you've probably heard of, Peter Thiel, who is super wealthy, and Mr. Thiel was one of the original co-founders of PayPal. And what's fascinating about this was he had the ability to buy shares of stock before the company went public, and he bought $2,000 worth of the stock and put it into his Roth IRA prior to the company going public. Well, that stock now is worth $5 billion. $5 billion. Now, what they want to do from the House Ways and Means Committee is they want to alter how people can purchase and what they can put into their 401k, and they're limiting this and making it so that not everybody can put securities in, and they're talking about making all these changes, but it's going to dramatically change the little guy. That's what they're concerned about. So if you've heard about this, share your thoughts. I don't think that they're going to successfully be able to do it. And again, Mr. Thiel's a genius, whether you like him or not. What this guy did was absolutely amazing, and I think that they're not going to destroy the 401k for the little guy, because people need to retire, and Social Security is not going to be there for any of us. So a couple things. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share it with all your friends and colleagues. Don't forget, we have an email list. If you want more access to me, sign up for Patreon. Now don't forget, this ends soon, the Webull program. If you'd like to get a Webull account, it's absolutely free, and they give you a free share of stock worth between $3 and $300. If you need money for your business, you can go to our link to deal with the company called Ironwood that's got all these different programs. And again, people that were denied PPP loans and EIDL loans, if you've been in business as little as 3 months, and you do $3,000 a month in sales, you can get a loan from these guys. You can even have a low FICO score of 500. So onward and upward, guys. Share this with all your friends and colleagues. Guys, look at all the ships out there. It's crazy. Okay, I will see you guys very soon.